Welcome to ATW's Friday Night Whackdown, bringing you all-time wrestling's non-stop action, coming to you live from the Catching Arts Arena. And your commentary team tonight is me, Richard Tugger, and me, Stats Nerdy Man. And what a show we have in store tonight, Stats. What's happening tonight, Tug? Well, tonight, Stats, we have an incredible show in store. I never thought I'd see anything like this, but last week, Brian Pillman threatened to burn the ATW Heavyweight Championship belt if the whack-down mysterious general manager didn't reveal himself. And that resulted in Sergeant Slaughter making his way to the ring. Who would have thought Sergeant Slaughter is the mysterious whack-down general manager? I know, Stats, what a surprise. I was so shocked I haven't slept all week. And Sergeant Slaughter was not happy with Brian Pillman's treatment of the belt or his treatment of ATW's whack-down. And so he has made a championship match between himself and Brian Pillman, and that is tonight's main event on Whackdown. And Brian Pillman is backstage in the ATW medical facility with Dr. Stevie, but it looks like he is still suffering from that back injury, and that's going to make the match a lot harder for him tonight. But luckily for Brian Pillman, Dr. Stevie has helped him remove 2 bump tokens, so he's not as likely to suffer another injury tonight. Well, that's good news for Brian Pillman and bad news for Sergeant Slaughter, because their title match is coming up next, right after this word from our sponsor, Shattered Ice Gaming. Shattered Ice Gaming offers you reviews, unboxings, playthrough videos, and some other board game videos too, that you can enjoy on YouTube. If you'd like to support Shattered Ice Gaming, subscribe to their YouTube channel, leave comments, likes, and share their videos. Shattered Ice Gaming is the proud sponsor of Whackdown and helps make our show possible. Thank you, Shattered Ice Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, the following match is scheduled for one fall and is for the ATW World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, with a maximum health value of 15 and a hand size of 16 cards. He is Sergeant Slaughter! And now, introducing the all-time wrestling world heavyweight champion with a maximum health value of 15 and a maximum stamina value of 15, accompanied to the ring by Matt Cardona and Scarlett. He is the leader of the Loose Cannons, Brian Pillman.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and what a matchup this is. Brian Pillman versus Sergeant Slaughter. And Brian Pillman is gonna show Sergeant Slaughter how to really run things around here, as he goes straight in for a suplex. And that costs him 1 stamina and requires a 3+ to hit. And he gets a 6. What an impact. He shakes the whole ring with that suplex. And that deals 2 damage to Sergeant Slaughter and gains 2 momentum for Brian Pillman. And as Sergeant Slaughter struggles back to his feet, Brian Pillman looks to follow up with a neck breaker. And that's going to cost him another 2 stamina and requires another 3+ to hit. Oh, when he drops Slaughter right to the mat with that neck breaker, busting his spine, dealing another 2 damage to Slaughter and gaining 2 more momentum. And now, Pillman looks to combo that neckbreaker into a missile drop kick as he goes up to the top rope and lines him up, costing him yet another 2 stamina and needing a 4+ to hit, but because it's a square combo, he only needs a 3+. Oh, and Pillman is struggling to line up that drop kick, so he chooses to discard a punch to re-roll his attack die. Oh, and he gets a 3, but Sergeant Slaughter is trying to adapt. Oh, and Sergeant Slaughter blocks the attack and then reveals the top card of his attack deck. And the attack is an automatic success, which means Sergeant Slaughter attacks with a kick to the gut. And as it's an automatic success, it deals 1 damage to Brian Pillman and gains 1 momentum for Sergeant Slaughter. And then, after the attack resolves, he gains another momentum. And then the missile dropkick is shuffled back into Brian Pillman's draw pile. And he draws a replacement, getting the Tornado DDT. And then Sergeant Slaughter takes the initiative. And now Sergeant Slaughter goes on the attack with a wind-up punch. And he needs a 3+ to hit with that. Oh, and he clocks Brian Pillman with that wind-up punch right in the jaw, dealing 2 damage to Brian Pillman and gaining 1 more momentum. And as his defender's compensation, Brian Pillman will draw 2 cards due to his rope-a-dope ability, getting a knife-edge chop and a power slam. And then Sergeant Slaughter looks to follow up with a front backbreaker. And he needs another 3 to hit there. Oh, and he brings Pillman down with that backbreaker right onto his spine. Oh, Pillman is writhing around in agony as he takes 2 damage and Slaughter gains 2 more momentum. And as his defender's compensation, Brian Pillman will gain 2 stamina. And now Sergeant Slaughter comes in looking for a right hand. And as this is Slaughter's 3rd attack that deals 2 or less damage, Brian Pillman is going to spend 2 stamina to block the attack, dropping him to 7 stamina and regaining the initiative. Well, as Brian Pillman regains the initiative, he comes in with a massive power slam. And that's going to cost him 2 stamina, and he needs a 3+ to hit. Oh, but Slaughter once again tries to adapt. And if Pillman's health was 7 or less, Slaughter would block the attack. But fortunately for Pillman, he has 9 health. And so he hits him with that power slam. What an attack! Dealing 2 damage to Slaughter and gaining 2 momentum for Pillman. And then, after the attack resolves, Sergeant Slaughter regains 1 health. But Pillman is taunting Sergeant Slaughter, which allows him to regain 1 stamina, gain 1 momentum, and draw 2 cards, getting a clothesline and the Air Pillman. But whilst Pillman is doing that, Slaughter recovers 1 more health. And now Pillman looks to follow up with a kick to the gut. And that's going to cost him 1 stamina, and he needs a 2+ to hit. Now once again, Slaughter is looking to adapt. And once again, if Pillman had had less than 7 health, Slaughter would have reversed. But he didn't, and so Pillman boots him right in the gut, dealing 1 damage to Sergeant Slaughter and gaining 1 momentum for Brian Pillman. And after that attack resolves, Slaughter searches his discard pile for a pin card, but there aren't any there, so he searches the draw pile instead. And he finds the Slaughter Cannon, which has the lowest target roll, and so will be shuffled into the top 3 cards of the draw pile. And now Pillman looks to combo that kick to the gut into a clothesline. And that's going to cost him 1 more stamina, and he needs a 2+ to hit. Oh, and it looks like Slaughter is trying to adapt to that clothesline. And if either wrestler had 5 or more momentum, then the attack would have suffered +1 to its target roll. But lucky for Pillman, neither he or Slaughter have 5 momentum. And so he wallops him right in the back of the head with that clothesline. And because it's a circle combo, that deals 3 damage to Slaughter and gains 1 momentum for Pillman. And then Slaughter will once again search his draw pile for pin cards, And this time he finds that Pile Driver has the lowest target roll. And so that is shuffled into the top 3 cards of the draw pile. And now Pillman takes a moment to recover, which allows him to regain 2 stamina and draw 1 card. And he gets a missile dropkick. But while he's doing that, Sergeant Slaughter recovers 1 health. And now it looks like Brian Pillman is exhausted and he is resting, which allows Pillman to recover 3 stamina. And then Sergeant Slaughter takes the initiative and he goes for the Slaughter Cannon. And he needs a 3+ to hit with that. Oh, and he clocks him with that Slaughter Cannon, nearly taking Pillman's head off. And that's going to deal 3 damage to Brian Pillman and gain 3 momentum for Sergeant Slaughter. And now Sergeant Slaughter covers Pillman, going for the pin. And Pillman is going to get 3 chances to kick out of this, and he needs a 6 or less.
1.
Oh, and a kick out at 1. Well, a good attempt there at a pin by Slaughter, but Brian Pillman is just too tough. And as his defender's compensation, Brian Pillman will draw 2 cards, but because he already has 4 cards in his hand, he can only draw 1. And he gets an Irish whip. And now Slaughter, after that pinfall attempt, goes for a knee drop. And he's going to need a 2 to hit with that. Oh, and he drops his knee right onto Pillman's head, dealing 2 damage to Brian Pillman and gaining 1 momentum. And as his defender's compensation, Brian Pillman will gain 2 stamina. And now Sergeant Slaughter goes for a Pile Driver. Oh, this could be it if you see that. Oh, but Brian Pillman just slapped Sergeant Slaughter right in the face. Oh, and that slap ability increases that Pile Driver's target roll by 1, meaning Slaughter will need a 6 to hit. And if he fails, Pillman will gain a charge on his unpredictable ability. Oh, and that slap really puts Slaughter off and lets Pillman get away, and allows him to gain 1 charge on his unpredictable ability. And now Pillman will retake the initiative. And now Pillman tries to send Slaughter into the ropes with an Irish whip. And that costs him 1 stamina, and he needs a 2+ to hit. Oh, and he sends Slaughter right into the ropes, dealing him 1 damage and gaining 1 momentum. And as Slaughter comes back off the ropes, Pillman looks to combo that into a Tornado DDT. And that costs him 2 stamina and requires a 4+ to hit. Oh, and Pillman struggles to get that Tornado DDT, so he's got to discard a knife-edge chop to re-roll his attack die. Oh, and Slaughter fails to avoid it, and he gets spiked right into the mat by that Tornado DDT. What an impact. And because it's a circle combo, that deals 4 damage to Slaughter and gains 2 momentum for Brian Pillman. Oh, and now as Slaughter struggles back to his feet, Brian Pillman looks to combo that Tornado DDT into the air Pillman. And that's going to cost him 2 more stamina, and ordinarily he'd need a 6 to hit. But as this is a square combo, he only needs a 5. Well, this could be it for Slaughter here. Oh, but Slaughter gets out of the way of the air Pillman just in time. And so the air Pillman is shuffled back into the draw pile. And he draws a replacement, getting a DDT. And now Slaughter retakes the initiative. And Sergeant Slaughter comes out looking for the Cobra Clutch. Oh, he's going for his finisher. He's going to need a 6 to hit with that. Oh, but watch this. A reversal by Brian Pillman. Pillman spends 2 stamina to reverse the attack, which deals 2 damage to Slaughter and gains 2 momentum for Brian Pillman. And then the initiative goes straight back to Pillman. And after that reversal, Pillman takes a moment to recover, which allows him to regain 2 stamina and draw 1 card. And he gets a knife-edge chop. But meanwhile, Sergeant Slaughter recovers 1 damage. And now Brian Pillman goes up to the top rope looking for a missile drop kick. And that's going to cost him 2 stamina, and he needs a 4+ to hit. Oh, and he struggles to line up that missile drop kick, so he discards a knife-edge chop to re-roll the attack die. Oh, and he goes for that missile drop kick, but Slaughter rolled his NPC reversal, and so as the attack does 3 or more damage, it gets reversed. But that reversal is going to tire out Sergeant Slaughter. That's right, Tug, as he loses 1 charge from his NPC reversal card. But he does deal 1 damage to Pillman and gain 1 momentum. And then that missile dropkick is shuffled back into the draw pile. And Pillman draws a replacement, getting the Air Pillman. And then Slaughter retakes the initiative. And Sergeant Slaughter comes out looking for an Irish whip. And he needs a 2 to hit with that. Oh, but Pillman manages to avoid that Irish whip. And so the initiative goes straight back to Pillman again. But Brian Pillman is looking exhausted, so he takes a moment to rest, allowing him to regain 3 stamina and sending the initiative back to Sergeant Slaughter. And now Slaughter comes in strong, looking for a giant body slam. And he needs a 4+ to hit with that. Oh, and he slams Pillman right to the mat. And that brutal body slam deals 3 damage to Brian Pillman and gains 2 momentum for Sergeant Slaughter. And as his defender's compensation, Brian Pillman will draw 2 cards, getting a chop block and a missile dropkick. And now Sergeant Slaughter looks to follow up with a bear hug. Oh, but watch this. As he goes to grab Pillman, Pillman hits him with a low blow, right in the ghoulies. Oh, what a dirty trick by Pillman. That costs him 2 stamina and deals 2 damage to Sergeant Slaughter. And now Pillman retakes the initiative. And Pillman comes in looking for that missile dropkick. And that's going to cost him 2 stamina and requires a 4+ to hit. Oh, and he lands that missile dropkick right to Slaughter's chest, dealing 3 damage to Slaughter and gaining 3 momentum for Pillman. But as he rolled his NPC recharge, Slaughter regains 1 charge on his NPC reversal card. And now Pillman is once again taunting Sergeant Slaughter. And that regains him 1 stamina, gains him 1 momentum, and allows him to draw 2 cards. And he draws the wheel kick as his last card. And as that's his final card, his entire discard pile is shuffled. And from now on, Pillman can no longer add cards to his hand. He must either play a card already in his hand or blind draw from his draw pile and play whatever he draws. And now Pillman goes for the chop block, costing him 2 stamina and needing a 3+ to hit. Oh, and he cracks him right in the back of the knee with that chop block, dealing 2 damage to Slaughter and gaining 2 momentum. And now he is once again taunting Slaughter, allowing him to regain 1 stamina and gaining 1 more momentum. But he cannot draw any more cards into it. And as the chop block has the cannon symbol on it, Pillman will add another charge to his unpredictable ability. Oh, and now Pillman comes straight back at Slaughter with a wheel kick. And that's going to cost him 2 stamina, and he needs a 4+ to hit. Oh, and what a wheel kick, right to Slaughter's face. And that deals 3 damage. Oh, and Pillman covers Slaughter, going for the pin. And as he's at low health, that'll reduce his kick-out attempts by 1. But Sergeant Slaughter also has his soldier ability, which means if his health is low, he will gain +1 kick-out attempt, meaning he still gets 3 attempts to kick out. Oh, but watch this, Brian Pillman is pulling on his tights. And as Pillman uses that pull tights ability, that's another -1 to his kick-out attempts, meaning Sergeant Slaughter will only gain 2 attempts to kick out. And he needs to get a 1 to kick out success.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, and that's it. He's done it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and still ATW World Heavyweight Champion, Brian Pillman!
Cut the music! Cut the music! How do you like that, Sergeant Slaughter? You thought you could take the title from me just because you're the whackdown general manager? I told you, I'm the greatest wrestler in this company, and no one is taking this title away from me. The loose cannons run this place now, and we're done marching to your lame orders. Pick him up, Matt. Pick him up. From now on, Slaughter, you're gonna do what the loose cannons tell you to do, because I'm the general manager from now on.
You slimy no good maggot. I never said I was the general manager. What? Did I just hear Sergeant Slaughter right? Is he saying he's not the mysterious general manager of Whackdown? Why, it certainly sounds that way, Tug. What a shocking turn of events. I am the Sergeant-at-Arms to the Whackdown general manager. He's not gonna waste his time with a pitiful loser like you. Who are you calling a loser, Slaughter? I'll show you what a loser can do. Oh my God! Pillman's got a gun! What is Brian Pillman doing? He's waving a gun around in the ring. Has he gone mad? I think he was already mad, Tug. Well, even more mad. Oh, someone get security out here. Call the authorities. So you're not the mysterious general manager, eh, Sergeant Slaughter? Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Booker Man, wherever you are. You've got 5 seconds to show yourself, or Sergeant Slaughter is gonna become Sergeant Slaughtered. Oh my God, Brian is threatening to shoot Sergeant Slaughter. What is happening? I can't believe what I'm seeing. Oh my God, is that Eddie Guerrero? I didn't even know he was part of the Whackdown roster. Well, Eddie Guerrero is a limited edition, Tug. There's only ever going to be 1,000 copies of him made, so he's certainly not going to be part of all of the ATW rosters, but he's here tonight. Who'd have thought it? Oh, and he's taken down Pillman. Oh my God, a slaughter cannon by Sergeant Slaughter. He just nearly took Cardona's head off. Oh my goodness, and now Eddie Guerrero has Brian Pillman in the lasso from El Paso, while Sergeant Slaughter puts Matt Cardona in the Cobra Clutch. And Scarlett is looking on helplessly. There's nothing she can do. Run away, Scarlett. Get to safety. Oh, now Slaughter and Guerrero just throw Pillman and Cardona out of the ring, and it looks like they are beating a hasty retreat. Oh, I did not see this coming.
Adelaide Holmes, what's wrong with you, S.A.? Eh? Ever since you came back from that injury, Holmes, it's been general manager this, general manager that. All you do is complain, Vato. You've got the championship. You took out the SWO. What more do you want, S.A.? You keep saying I'm screwing you over, man. But from where I'm standing, you've got everything you want, Vato. And now, you're gonna come into this arena and start waving a gun around? Well, S.A., that's the last straw. You and the loose cannons are suspended without pay.
Finally, these hoodlums are suspended.
You think I care about being suspended, Guerrero? I'll just turn up here anyway.
No, I don't think you will, Holmes. Because if you turn up here, you aren't gonna get what you really want.
Oh yeah? And what do I want, Guerrero?
You know what you want, S.A. You want my job. So I'm gonna make the match official, S.A. at Whackamania. Brian Pillman versus Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. And if you win, Vato, you get to be the Whackdown general manager.
You're on, Guerrero. I'll see you at Whackamania.
Adley, Holmes. Not yet. There's one more thing. You see, it's been a long time since Latino Heat has felt gold around his waist. So this match is not just gonna be for Whackdown general manager. If I win, I get your championship belt.
No way, Guerrero. You can't do that. You can't be Whackdown general manager and champion.
Then you better make sure you win, Holmes, and then you will be Whackdown general manager and champion.
Oh my word, what an incredible turn of events. It looks like Whackamania will have the most important match in Whackdown history. Could we see Brian Pillman be the new general manager? Good Lord, I hope not. It's been almost a year since Randy Savage and the SWO destroyed Kurt Angle at Whackamania. And now here we are, coming up to our next Whackamania with this unbelievably shocking match.
But there's one more thing, Holmes. Just one more little thing. It's not just gonna be any old match. A match with these kind of stakes needs to be a big match. And it's not gonna be a last man standing match or even a cage match. At Whackamania, it's gonna be Brian Pillman, Eddie Guerrero in an exploding barbed wire
death match. So I'll see you at Wackamania, SA.
Well, as if things couldn't get any more exciting and unexpected, we are gonna see the most brutal of matches in ATW. What an incredible Wackamania it's gonna be. That is, if Brian Pillman can stay away from Whackdown until then. Well, Wackamania is not far away, but you know as well as I do, Stats, Brian Pillman, the loose cannon, he loves to cause trouble, and it is going to be a real challenge for him to stay away before the event. Well, we'll have to see if he can manage it, and we'll see you all at Wackamania. Good night, everybody.